I like unusual monsters, I always have. One of my biggest influences was the anime Evangelion. The angels, the main antagonists in that show, are brilliant because they're actually alien. They're bizarre, unexpected, and unfamiliar. That's what alien design should feel like, in my opinion. Not something that looks like human beings in red paint or blue paint, but something that actually makes you ask, what am I even looking at? As a lifelong Star Trek and Star Wars fan, I've always wanted more of that. In Star Trek, so many alien species are just humanoids. And in kaiju movies like Godzilla, it's often just big guy in rubber suit walking around. What if monsters didn't have to be giant people? When I design creatures and monsters, I look for asymmetry. Forms that feel off balance but intentional at the same time. I use something called the silhouette test. If you could fill the creature's outline in black, can you still recognize it instantly as a shape? Could you spot it from a mile away? If yes, you're onto something. Take Didus from One Last Monster, for example. He is humanoid, but for story reasons. He needed to feel intelligent and dignified, but also mysterious and dangerous. The shape itself of the monster or creature tells you, this isn't a villain to defeat, this is a being to understand. But again, it comes down to what the character needs to do in the story. Then there are also designs that just start from the simple rule of cool. Sometimes you can put a giant mouth with teeth on a design, and it works, but it's more interesting if you don't always go for the obvious. Maybe one monster floats in two pieces. Why? I don't know yet, but it looks pretty interesting. Or another has a glowing red core. It feels alive, so I keep it. Later, I might connect it to the lore and science of the One Last Monster universe, I'm not sure. But that's the secret. I'm going by my intuition first, and then I'll justify it later. Finally, I always try to think about texture and logic when I come up with these designs for monsters. Real organisms have detail, function, and material consistency. A believable monster feels like it was built, or it was grown, even if its shape is bizarre, not drawn by a randomizer stringing things together. Monsters can feel overdone these days, but if you remember three things, silhouette, strangeness, and story purpose, you can design something that still feels fresh. Because a great monster isn't just scary, it's unfamiliar in a way that makes you think. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to support the channel and the work I'm doing with One Last Monster, you can check out our Patreon at the link below here. And thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.